Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The winds howl, the rain pours, and chaos surrounds you. Yet, there you are, calm and unshaken, unfazed by the tempest. What if I told you that this level of unbreakable calmness is within your reach? What if you could develop a mindset so powerful that nothing, absolutely nothing, can disturb your peace? Today, we're diving into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism to learn how to cultivate an unshakable mind, a mindset that will allow you to act as if nothing disturbs you, ready to discover the power within. In a world filled with stress, anxiety, and endless distractions, the Stoic mindset offers a way to reclaim your peace and master your emotions. The core of Stoic philosophy is simple, yet profound. True strength comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering your mind and emotions. Now, let's embark on this journey together, exploring the timeless teachings of Stoicism. We'll delve into 5 key principles: viewing obstacles as opportunities, rejecting imaginary fears, embracing impermanence, mastering detachment, and practicing daily reflection. These principles, when deeply understood and consistently applied, have the power to transform not just how you react to the world, but how you live in it. First, view obstacles as opportunities. Let's begin by exploring the concept of obstacles. We all face them, whether in our personal lives, our careers, or our relationships. Obstacles are inevitable. Yet, the way we perceive these obstacles can either be a source of endless frustration or a path to unparalleled growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound statement encapsulates a powerful truth. Every obstacle is, in fact, an opportunity in disguise. Rather than viewing challenges as roadblocks, Marcus invites us to see them as catalysts for progress. Consider a situation where you encounter a significant challenge at work. Perhaps a project fails, or you receive harsh criticism from a superior. The natural reaction might be to feel defeated, to let the weight of the obstacle pull you down. But what if, instead, you saw this as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, to innovate? This shift in perspective changes everything. By embracing the Stoic principle of seeing obstacles as opportunities, you transform from someone who is at the mercy of external events to someone who actively shapes their own destiny. Every difficulty becomes a chance to refine your character, to strengthen your resolve, and to grow in ways you never imagined. But let's not stop at personal challenges. Think about the collective obstacles we face as a society: economic downturns, social unrest, environmental crises. These are daunting issues, no doubt. But history has shown us that in the face of great challenges, humanity often rises to the occasion. Innovation is born out of necessity, and progress is made through adversity. By applying the Stoic mindset, we can approach these societal challenges with a sense of purpose and resilience, turning what seems like insurmountable obstacles into opportunities for collective growth and improvement. Now, let's take this idea a step further. Imagine the life of Jesus, who faced immeasurable obstacles, betrayal, suffering, and ultimately, death. Yet, he transformed these challenges into opportunities to spread love, forgiveness, and redemption. In his darkest moments, he taught us about the power of patience and the strength found in forgiveness. This parallels the Stoic view that adversity is not something to be feared but embraced as a teacher, as a guide towards inner growth. Ask yourself, when was the last time you faced a challenge? How did you react? Were you overwhelmed by it, or did you find a way to turn it into a motivating force to propel you forward? The Stoic philosophy encourages us to look within, to find the strength to transform obstacles into opportunities. This is how we not only survive, but thrive, living each day with a sense of purpose and strength. As Marcus Aurelius so wisely observed, obstacles are not your enemies, they are your greatest teachers, guiding you on how to overcome difficulties and find light even in the darkest moments. When you embrace this mindset, you begin to see that every challenge you encounter is an opportunity for you to learn, to grow, and to become more resilient. Life's difficulties become stepping stones on the path to a more robust and meaningful existence. Imagine a life where every setback is met not with despair but with determination. This is the power of the Stoic mindset. Second, don't suffer imaginary pains. Now, let's move on to a concept that, though simple, can be life-changing: the idea of not suffering imaginary pains. How many times have you found yourself tormented by worries about things that haven't even happened? Perhaps you've spent sleepless nights worrying about an upcoming presentation, a meeting, or a personal confrontation. The anxiety builds up, creating scenarios in your mind that, more often than not, never come to pass. Stoicism teaches us that much of our suffering is self-inflicted, born out of our imagination rather than reality. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. This statement is a powerful reminder that our minds can be our greatest source of distress, if we allow them to be. Think back to the last time you were anxious about something that hadn't yet happened. How often did the reality of the situation turn out to be far less severe than what you imagined? This is the trap of imaginary pain. Our minds create scenarios that cause us to suffer unnecessarily. We project our fears and anxieties onto the future, robbing ourselves of peace in the present. Jesus also spoke to this human tendency when he said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This teaching emphasizes the importance of focusing on the present moment rather than being consumed by fears of what might be. By grounding ourselves in the present, we can prevent our imaginations from running wild and creating unnecessary suffering. But how do we apply this practically? The next time you find yourself spiraling into worry about something that hasn't happened yet, pause and ask yourself, is this real, or is it just my imagination? Is this a situation that is actually unfolding, or am I creating a narrative of fear and anxiety in my mind? By confronting these imaginary pains head-on, you strip them of their power over you. You begin to see them for what they are, illusions, products of a mind that is not yet fully under your control. Let me give you an example. Imagine a farmer who, every day, worries incessantly about the coming harvest, about droughts, pests, and crop failure. This constant worry doesn't help the crops grow any better. In fact, it only serves to rob the farmer of his peace of mind and his ability to enjoy the present. How many of us live our lives like this farmer, allowing imaginary fears to dictate our happiness and our peace? When you start to see these fears for what they are, mere illusions, you reclaim your power. You no longer allow your mind to create problems that don't exist. Instead, you focus on what is real, on what you can control, and you address those issues with a calm, clear mind. By letting go of imaginary pains, you make room for peace, for joy, and for the things that truly matter in life. But this process of rejecting imaginary pains goes deeper than just addressing our anxieties. It's about training the mind to distinguish between what is real and what is imagined, between what deserves our attention and what does not. This requires practice, discipline, and a commitment to mindfulness. It's about catching yourself in those moments when your mind starts to wander into negative territory and pulling it back to the present moment. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview. Your mind begins to race. What if they don't like me? What if I say something wrong? What if I don't get the job? These thoughts are not rooted in reality. They are projections of fear and insecurity. By recognizing them as such, you can choose to refocus your mind on what you can control: your preparation, your mindset, your attitude. You can remind yourself that the outcome is not yet determined, and that worrying about it serves no purpose other than to rob you of your peace. This practice of rejecting imaginary pains is not just about reducing anxiety, it's about reclaiming your life. It's about living fully in the present, unburdened by the weight of future worries. When you stop suffering from things that aren't real, you free yourself to experience life as it is, not as your mind imagines it to be. You gain clarity, focus, and most importantly, a deep sense of peace. And when you are at peace, nothing, absolutely nothing, can disturb you. Third, embrace impermanence. Now, let's turn our attention to a truth that is as old as time itself. Everything in life is impermanent. Change is the only constant. We live in a world where everything is in flux. Our emotions, our circumstances, even our very lives. Yet, despite knowing this, many of us resist change. We cling to the idea of permanence, holding on to things, people, and situations as if they will last forever. This attachment is a source of great suffering. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of this when he says, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This is a powerful reminder that our perceptions are not reality. They are simply our interpretations of it. And because our perceptions are subjective, they can, and will, change. Life, much like a river, is always flowing, always changing. To resist this natural flow is to resist life itself. The Stoics teach us to embrace impermanence, to accept that everything, good and bad, will pass. This acceptance is not about resignation or despair. Rather, it's about finding peace in the midst of change. It's about understanding that life's transient nature is what gives it beauty and meaning. Jesus also spoke of impermanence in his teachings, when he said, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God." He was reminding us that our strength does not come from the material world, which is fleeting, but from a deeper, spiritual source. By placing our trust in something eternal, something beyond the physical, we can navigate the impermanence of life with grace and calmness. Think about moments in your life when everything changed unexpectedly. Perhaps you lost a loved one, Or maybe you experienced a sudden career shift. How did you cope with those changes? Did you resist them, holding on to what was, or did you embrace them as part of life's natural flow? When we accept impermanence, we find a profound peace. We no longer cling desperately to things that are slipping away, but instead, we learn to appreciate the present moment. We begin to see every change not as a loss, but as an opportunity for growth and transformation. When you embrace impermanence, you understand that nothing lasts forever, not the joys, not the sorrows. And with this understanding, you begin to cherish every moment with your family, friends, and loved ones. You find beauty in the transient nature of life, and with this mindset, nothing can disturb your peace. Moreover, embracing impermanence allows us to let go of the fear of loss. When you realize that everything is temporary, you stop fearing change. Instead, you learn to live fully in the present, knowing that this moment, right now, is all you truly have. You begin to see life as a series of precious, fleeting moments, each one an opportunity to experience joy, love, and connection. But let's take this concept even further. Consider the impermanence not just of life's external circumstances, but of your own thoughts and emotions. How often have you felt completely overwhelmed by a negative emotion, only to find that, with time, it fades away? Our emotions are as transient as the clouds in the sky. They come, they change, and they go. By recognizing the impermanence of our emotions, we can learn not to be swept away by them. Imagine you are in the midst of a conflict with a loved one. Anger flares up, and it feels all-consuming. But if you pause and remind yourself that this emotion, too, will pass, you gain perspective. You realize that you don't have to act on that anger, that you don't have to let it control you. You can choose to respond with patience, with understanding, knowing that this moment of conflict is temporary, but the relationship is something worth preserving. The Stoics believe that by accepting the impermanence of life, we could achieve a state of equanimity, an unshakable peace of mind, that is not disturbed by the comings and goings of life's events. When you live with this understanding, you are no longer tossed around by the waves of change. Instead, you become like a deep, calm lake, peaceful and undisturbed, even when the storms of life rage around you. Fourth, master the art of detachment. Let's now delve into the concept of detachment, a key tenet of Stoic philosophy that is often misunderstood. Detachment is not about indifference or a lack of care. It's about recognizing that there are things in life we cannot control, and choosing not to let them dictate our happiness. Life is full of situations beyond our control, relationships that end, jobs that are lost, opportunities that slip through our fingers. These are all part of the human experience. But what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we respond to these events. Detachment is the art of letting go of what we cannot change. It is about understanding that clinging to things we have no control over only creates suffering. Jesus spoke to this idea when he said, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you." This teaching invites us to let go of our worries, to trust in something greater than ourselves, and to find peace in that surrender. Think about a time when you were deeply attached to something, a relationship, a job, a material possession, and it was taken away. How did you feel? If you're like most people, the loss probably caused you a great deal of pain. But was that pain caused by the loss itself, or by your attachment to what was lost? Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "That which is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." This reminds us that we are part of a larger whole, and that clinging to things that are not good for our soul, or for the community around us, only harms us in the long run. By practicing detachment, we free ourselves from unnecessary burdens, and open ourselves up to new possibilities. Detachment is not about avoiding responsibility, or turning away from life's challenges. It's about approaching those challenges with a clear mind, free from the weight of unnecessary emotional baggage. When you master the art of detachment, you find that you are no longer controlled by the things you cannot change. You learn to focus on what is within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and let go of the rest. Imagine a sailor navigating a ship through rough seas. The sailor cannot control the wind or the waves, but he can control how he steers the ship. Detachment is like this. It's about recognizing that while you cannot control the external circumstances of your life, you can control how you navigate through them. This mindset of detachment allows you to face life's ups and downs with equanimity. When you let go of the need to control everything, you find a deep sense of freedom. You are no longer bound by the outcomes of your actions, but instead, you are free to focus on the present moment, on doing what you can with what you have. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom: to accept what you cannot change, to focus on what you can, and to find peace in the process. But let's deepen our understanding of detachment even further. Detachment is also about releasing the need for validation from others. How often do we find ourselves seeking approval, recognition, or praise? While these desires are natural, they can become chains that bind us to the opinions and judgments of others. When we are overly attached to what others think of us, we lose our sense of self, our autonomy. Imagine you've worked hard on a project, and you eagerly await feedback from your peers or your boss. But instead of the praise you hoped for, you receive criticism. If you're attached to their approval, this criticism can feel devastating. It can make you question your abilities, your worth. But if you practice detachment, you can take the criticism in stride. You can evaluate it objectively, see if there's anything to learn from it, and then move on, without letting it affect your inner peace. Detachment, then, is about cultivating an inner stability that is not dependent on external circumstances or the opinions of others. It's about being grounded in your own values, your own sense of purpose, and not allowing the shifting tides of life to knock you off course. When you master this art, you become unshakable. You become a person who can navigate life's challenges with grace and poise, unaffected by the ups and downs, the praise and criticism, the gains and losses. You become someone who acts as if nothing disturbs you, because in truth, nothing can. Fifth, practice daily reflection. Finally, let's explore the practice of daily reflection, a powerful tool in the Stoics' arsenal for cultivating wisdom and inner peace. At the end of each day, do you take a moment to reflect on your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions? Daily reflection is not just a ritual, it's a way of life that helps us to continuously grow and improve. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, practiced daily reflection through his writings in his journal, now known as Meditations. Every night, he would write down his thoughts, his struggles, and his philosophy, not only as a way to admonish himself, but also to leave a legacy for future generations. Through this practice, he constantly reminded himself of the Stoic principles that guided his life and prepared his mind to face any challenge with calmness and clarity. But why is daily reflection so important? In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind, to lose sight of our values and our goals. Daily reflection allows us to pause, to step back, and to assess how we're living our lives. It helps us to recognize our mistakes, to acknowledge our successes, and to identify areas for improvement. Jesus also encouraged daily reflection through prayer. He taught, "Seek, and you will find, knock, and the door will be opened to you." This teaching reminds us that through reflection and seeking, we will receive enlightenment and guidance. By taking time each day to reflect, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. We create opportunities for growth, for learning, and for becoming the best version of ourselves. Imagine spending just a few minutes each night writing in a journal. You note down what you experienced that day, what you did well, and what needs improvement. You ask yourself, what did I do today to make progress? Is there anything I regret? And what would I do differently tomorrow? This simple practice has the power to transform your life. It helps you to stay focused on your goals, to learn from your experiences, and to continuously grow as a person. But daily reflection is not just about self-improvement, it's also about cultivating inner peace. When you take time each day to reflect, you gain perspective. You see the bigger picture. You realize that the challenges you face are not as insurmountable as they seem, and that you have the strength to overcome them. You build resilience, patience, and a compassionate spirit. And with this comes a profound sense of calmness, a calmness that remains with you, even in the face of life storms. So, what will you reflect on tonight? Let each day be not just an existence, but a step forward in your journey of self-improvement. Through constant reflection and learning, you build a foundation of wisdom and inner peace that cannot be shaken. And with this foundation, nothing can disturb you. But to truly harness the power of daily reflection, it's important to approach it with intentionality. Don't just go through the motions, engage deeply with the process. Ask yourself the tough questions. Where did I fall short today? What triggered my negative emotions? And how can I respond differently in the future? What moments brought me joy? And how can I cultivate more of that in my life? By probing deeper into your daily experiences, you uncover patterns, behaviors, and mindsets that either support or undermine your peace and happiness. And here's the beauty of reflection. It's not just about looking back. It's about setting intentions for the future. Each day is a new opportunity to apply the lessons you've learned, to make different choices, to grow and evolve. When you reflect on your day, you're not just reviewing the past, you're preparing yourself to face tomorrow with more wisdom, more clarity, and more peace. Daily reflection also connects you with your deeper values. In a world that often pulls us in 1,000 different directions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. By reflecting daily, you keep your values at the forefront of your mind. You remind yourself of what you stand for, what you're working towards, and what kind of person you want to be. This clarity of purpose fortifies you against the distractions and challenges of life, allowing you to remain centered and focused on what truly matters. Imagine the cumulative effect of practicing daily reflection for weeks, months, even years. Over time, you develop a profound self-awareness, a deep understanding of who you are and what you value. You become more resilient, more compassionate, more at peace. You build a life that is aligned with your highest values, and you navigate life's ups and downs with grace and poise. And as you do, you discover that nothing, absolutely nothing, can disturb your inner peace. By embracing these Stoic principles, viewing obstacles as opportunities, rejecting imaginary fears, embracing impermanence, mastering detachment, and practicing daily reflection, you cultivate a mindset of unshakable calmness and profound inner peace. This is the power of Stoicism. It teaches us not just how to survive in a chaotic world, but how to thrive with grace, wisdom, and serenity. As you begin to apply these teachings in your daily life, you will find that you are no longer at the mercy of external events. Instead, you will discover a deep reservoir of strength within yourself, a strength that allows you to act as if nothing disturbs you, because in truth, nothing can. And with that strength, you will navigate through life with a sense of purpose, resilience, and unwavering calmness. This is the Stoic mindset, a mindset that empowers you to live fully, to embrace life's challenges with open arms, and to find peace in every moment.